What's up, guys? It's John here, National Sports Entertainment, and I wanted to. I went into this before on my last video, and I haven't been posting much, so that's my fault because obviously the less I post, the you know, it's the viewers are gonna drop and all that. So had I done this like 6 months ago, it would have worked out a lot better. But I'm able to consistently upload now, and I think as far as people getting over transitioning, it will work out nice. And by that I mean, and for the people that are like me, that vomit when they hear TikTok, trust me, I resisted it for a while. But for this type of, for what I do, it is like tailor made for what I do, because what I do and what I like to do the most is just my betting system, which is something that's been very, it's difficult on YouTube because I'm not one of those people who likes to, oversaturate stuff and, do 16 videos a week on every game. I try and condense everything into one video, but that can make it very complicated. So with the TikTok feed, the way it's formatted, I have it in like chronological order. So you can basically scroll, and what I'm doing is what I used to do on here. Every single day we're gonna go into every bet we're making, how many units, and then that night I'm going to recap whether we lost one and what we're betting the next day, and it's just so much easier over there. And it's for TikTok because it's slow growth. A good bit of people have already come over, and even people on there already, I guess. So if you do have one, or even if you're not against having one, I'm not one of those people, just so you know. I think I have like 500 videos I've made. I never asked for a like, subscribe, comment. I'm not one of those people. I'm simply asking this because it's where I'll be uploading 90% of my videos. So I just feel like if you enjoy watching them, especially if you like the old school stuff I used to do more with my system, I think it's going to be great. Everyone can just kind of tail my picks, get in, get out. I still plan on doing my deep dives on here, but I wanted to go into my system, and you can see now my system, what I'm doing is for consistent growth and for people that just want high value and years proven of profiting, which I can show the receipts for. In my bets, you will see sometimes I just go balls out on certain teams. So I'm not, if you want to tail me on those, that's great. I made a lot of extra money doing that. But again, I want to show you just my system and how it's supposed to work. So it's very simple. We put, and this I put over on TikTok, we put $25 on the Diamondbacks yesterday and they lost. That's leg one. Not to be confused with the parlay, or level one, which means, well, that's one unit for me. $25 is a unit. Whatever your unit amount is, we basically double up. So if you don't have a lot, you can do $2, or you can do 5, whatever it is. The goal is to profit one unit, and whatever if you got a lot of money, maybe you did 1,000. Anyway, I didn't think the Diamondbacks were going to get swept, and I thought the number was just, the odds were kind of off. So today we doubled up. Now, sticking to my normal system, we wouldn't have doubled up, right? The goal is to win 25, and since we're getting plus 141, meaning we're getting good plus odds, 50 winning 70, I only would have had a wager around 35 to 40 to pick up that 25, but maybe something closer to 40. But I just did 50 because I said, maybe we'll get a couple extra bucks. So it's pretty simple math. We were down 25. So we got 70, 50. We have to subtract the 25 that we lost on the first level. This is the second level. This is 2 units for 50. So you take the 25 off of this, and it's still a nice profit of $45.50. And that's basically how it goes. Now, we don't perpetually double up. And that's why, again, doing these on TikTok is going to be a lot easier. You're literally just going to see in live time me making my plays, how many units, very simple. And I'll explain it, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So the Diamondbacks came through nice, and we did the same thing with the Pacers. We put 25 on them. That one is still undetermined. But should the Pacers win, the 50, we're almost up 4 units, and the goal is only to profit 1 unit per bet. So if we go Pacers for a unit and lose, then 2 units and lose, and then 4 units and lose or win. I'm sorry. We profited 1 unit. Now sometimes you bet a few extra bucks for the juice, but at the end of the day, now whether we go to 4 and 5, I'll get into. It's all about discretion. But I will say, if you double up past 4 times, you're probably not going to profit. I don't do it because no matter how sure you are, it wipes out hundreds of units. Like it's a lot. It's not hundreds. It's 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. So 24, 28, 31 units get knocked out, which is a lot. If you're betting $10, that's $310 that you're down. It's just a lot to recover from. But you can manage losing 3 in a row because that's only 7 units. And again, should the Pacers win tonight, we're up 4 on just 2 plays. So some of it's complicated, but it's not that complicated. It's called the rig system. That's what I named it. A, because I think the sport's rigged. And B, because I got it from a random internet guy. So RIG, random internet guy. It was on a sports forum, and he was putting spreadsheets up in live time, for a while. And this guy just won and won and won. And he just dipped one day, and it wasn't like he lost. Like, he was in the process of he was in a winning season. And I don't blame him. I'd be doing better things too. But yeah, because he wasn't getting paid. And he just was like, we stopped hearing from him. But that's what he did. He found mostly baseball series where historically the odds were heavily in the favor of a particular team not getting swept. And I think it's pretty smart. Now, you don't have to just limit it to baseball. For example, all through the finals, the Pacers would have been great because they're underdogs in every game. And we knew they weren't going to lose 3 in a row or 4 in a row. That's one where I would have doubled up 3 times, because if the Pacers lost again, I know they're not getting swept. They're not doing that in the finals. So anyway, that's the system in a very simplified form. I can go into it more, but I've gone into it before, but I know new people watch. Now for the deep dive part. Hold on. Sorry about that. Now these idiots are going to strike my whole video just because of that. There is a way to avoid it. Hold on. So, tonight I love the Pacers. And again, when I'm really, really like feeling a team, they usually wind up losing just because the more confident I am, more egg on my face when I lose. But I put in, again, it was in my TikTok, just a quick little like slideshow of some interesting factoids. This is being like voted or rated as the best finals since 2016, which went 7 games, of course, where LeBron came back, I believe. And I just don't think that the NBA ratings were so down. I think they're going to ride this for all it's worth. I think you got to have the Pacers win this game. We haven't had a Game 7 in a while. And this is where the script part comes in. So Halliburton's, quote, injured, right? They're only plus 180. So they were bigger underdogs, or about the same. It was ranging between 6.5 and 7.5. This is at home. That was kind of their line. Plus 170 to 190 with a healthy Halliburton. Now he's supposedly hurt, and they're not even, they should be much bigger underdogs, right? So to me, that's a tip-off right there that Halliburton's probably going to have like a Michael Jordan flu game and just go Superman. And then that forces a Game 7. If the Thunder are to win, I think it makes sense that they win it at home. They really are pushing this Pacers narrative that they could do it, and I'm buying it more each day. But I will stick with my original prediction, which has been pretty spot on so far. It was the Pacers stealing the first game. It was the Thunder wiping the Pacers out the next game. These were videos I've actually done, and then it was a split in Indy, and then of course the Thunder winning at home. So far we're on line. I think that the Pacers are going to win tonight. As you can see, I have a lot of faith in them, and at least force a game seven. Right now, I still like the Thunder to win game seven, but that might change. But yeah, I think that's very interesting. So yeah, like I said, what I do is chronologically, and I'm able to get baseball and tennis and all that stuff in there. I just post my plays on TikTok because, like, while I'm at work, I can't do this, but I can quickly post two quick photos of who I picked, how many units, and put that up there, which is, I think, a lot better for people too. I don't think a lot of people, some people like watching, but I don't think that people care to watch, a 10, 20-minute video, sometimes longer, on a couple teams. And a lot of times, just because of the interface, it's a lot harder to do all the betting and stuff. So yeah, I'm over there. It's I think it's a Nat Sports Entertainment because the name was taken, but I'll post the link. And like I said, it's mostly just because I don't want people that have been watching for a while and they're like, man, he hasn't really posted bets, to miss out on the betting aspect, which is really why I made this. I always said it's the beat Vegas. That's the whole point of the program, So far we're doing a pretty good job, and that's the great thing about the system. We can have a 30 to 40% hit rate and still profit. I'm the first to say I'm not one of these people who claims to be a 70% picker. I will say I'm usually more accurate than most of these professional handicappers that get paid. But at the end of the day, it's about the money management. You can have the best picks in the world. If you can't manage the money, it's like poker. You can have the best hands. If you don't know how to get value out of it, then it's just not going to work. So that's what I really like to hone in on when I'm doing those videos. So yeah, I like the Pacers tonight. I like any kind of stat with Halliburton in it. I'm thinking about putting a triple-double, a unit on him to get a triple-double, which would be a lot because they usually have him around like 6, 7 rebounds and right around 10 assists. So that would be a pretty big payout. As would, I might pick him to do like 30 points, like 4 3-pointers. I think he's got to go off. I would be really surprised. They had Anthony Edwards kind of lay an egg. Jokic did everything he could. But a lot of guys kind of came out and just did terrible. And I don't think they're going to kill Halliburton's push. I think they want to show, how resilient he is. So the foul calls are probably going to go his way. I think the Pacers are going to definitely take this game. So yeah, that's it. Like I said, I wanted to kind of just go into, well, I think what'll be a very nice branch out and transition for how I'm doing my picks. And it'll connect with the Discord a lot better too, which I'm going to be in there tonight because I feel terrible. There's so many good people in there that, I don't need to be in there. That's what's awesome about it. When I made it, it was so people can talk about sports. So anytime I go in there, there's a good dozen people or so just talking about different sports. So I always appreciate the people that have held down the Discord when I'm like never in there. But yeah, I'll be in there tonight. That way I can kind of people in there know about the TikTok, and I'll still post on here. NFL will be on here a lot because there's going to be deep dives, but I'll be using TikTok to, do my exact bets and how much for each and every game because it's just so much better for, I think, everybody. So thanks everybody for that watches on here, over there, and like I said, I think it's going to be much cooler. And my system is again chronological, so you can just when you swipe up or down or whatever, you'll literally see like it's like episodic. You'll see my pick. If you scroll to the next one, you're going to see the results for that pick and my next pick. It's not a bunch of nonsense in between. Every once in a while, I might post something that's not exact, but I make a point of with text or in the comments, like the strict description, the title, whatever. You'll know that which one that they're referring to. But the way I have it set up, like I said, you basically scroll, and you're just seeing live picks every day, results every night, which I think is the best way to go. A lot of people like to pick after the fact and say this is who you should have picked. I do mine beforehand. That way, if at any point there's, people can see the receipts and see that, okay, they're actually in live time. This person's not just saying after the fact, oh, this is who you should have taken, which is what a lot of people do, which is fine. But yeah, I would never recommend people do bets that I wouldn't. So that's why I do that. So thank you guys. Take care and happy earnings.